Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most in-depth analysis of the captivating drama unfolding in Genoa. Today is a great day to explore the intricate webs of lies, loyalty, and betrayal that shape our favorite characters. The plot may hold surprises as Billy threatens to shoot upon discovering Jack's betrayal. We are thrilled to join you on this journey to uncover the darkest corners of the escalating civil war within the Abbott family. Let's unravel this intense psychological battle together. The atmosphere in Genoa City has grown suffocatingly tense as the battle for Chancellor Industries transforms from a mere corporate dispute into a deeply personal blood feud. At the center of this brewing storm is the Abbott family, a dynasty historically defined by its unity but now fracturing under the weight of unrelenting ambition. Billy Abbott, consumed by a manic obsession to claim what he believes is his rightful throne, has pushed his loved ones to the absolute brink. His relentless pursuit of power has blinded him to the collateral damage he is inflicting on his relationships, particularly with his brother, Jack Abbott. Jack, the weary patriarch who has spent his entire life cleaning up Billy's catastrophic messes, finds himself standing at a terrifying crossroads. The corporate war has escalated beyond boardroom maneuvering, morphing into a psychological thriller that threatens to unearth sins long buried. The pristine facade of the Abbott legacy is beginning to crack, and the underlying rot is poised to consume them all in a devastating wave of destruction. Driven by a desperate need to protect his family from an impending disaster, Jack embarks on a meticulous investigation into the very foundation of Billy's audacious claims. He knows all too well the destructive patterns of his younger brother, recognizing the dangerous euphoria that currently possesses Billy as a precursor to a devastating fall. With the heavy burden of the Abbott name resting squarely on his shoulders, Jack delves into the complex legal documents and historical financial records that Billy has brandished as his ultimate weapon. Jack is not acting out of malice, but out of a profound, agonizing sense of fraternal duty. He understands that if Billy's claims are legally flawed, the resulting public humiliation and corporate retaliation would utterly destroy Billy. Jack's late nights are spent poring over every clause, every signature, and every hidden addendum, searching for the truth amidst his brother's desperate and chaotic narrative. During his exhaustive review, Jack's sharp, experienced eyes catch a glaring anomaly that unravels the entirety of Billy's supposed ironclad case. He uncovers a severe inconsistency within the historical documents, a fatal legal loophole that renders Billy's claim to Chancellor Industries completely invalid. The realization strikes Jack with the force of a physical blow. The foundation upon which Billy has built his manic dreams of corporate conquest is nothing more than an illusion, a fragile house of cards waiting to collapse at the slightest breeze. Jack stares at the paperwork, his heart sinking as he comprehends the magnitude of this discovery. He knows that presenting this truth to Billy will be akin to detonating a bomb within their already fragile relationship. Yet, the alternative of allowing Billy to march blindly into a legal and financial slaughterhouse is entirely unacceptable. The truth is a bitter pill, but Jack knows he must be the one to administer it before it is too late. Gathering every ounce of his diplomatic restraint, Jack arranges a private, highly sensitive meeting with Billy, hoping to defuse the ticking time bomb before it explodes publicly. In the quiet confines of his office, surrounded by the portraits of their ancestors, Jack gently but firmly presents his findings to his younger brother. He attempts to frame the discovery not as an attack, but as a vital intervention designed to save Billy from catastrophic ruin. Jack's voice is laced with genuine concern, his demeanor reflecting the exhaustion of a man who has fought this identical battle countless times before. He pleads with Billy to see reason, to understand that the documents are flawed, and that pursuing this hostile takeover will only lead to his ultimate destruction. Jack desperately tries to appeal to whatever rational part of Billy's mind still exists, hoping against hope that the bond of brotherhood will be enough to pierce through the veil of manic obsession. However, Jack's protective intentions are violently twisted by Billy's deeply entrenched paranoia and blinding ambition. Instead of seeing a brother trying to save him, Billy perceives a jealous rival desperately attempting to sabotage his moment of ultimate triumph. The revelation of the loophole does not bring clarity. It ignites a fierce, defensive rage within Billy's soul. He interprets Jack's intervention as the ultimate betrayal, a calculated maneuver to keep him subjugated and deny him his rightful place at the pinnacle of the corporate world. Billy's mind, already fragile and consumed by the intoxicating allure of power, constructs a dark narrative where Jack is the villain, orchestrating his downfall out of sheer spite. The walls of trust crumble instantly, replaced by a toxic resentment that poisons every memory of their fraternal bond. Billy leaves the confrontation entirely convinced that his own flesh and blood is his greatest enemy, setting the stage for a retaliation born of pure, unadulterated malice. The agonizing confrontation with Billy forces Jack to dig even deeper into the historical context of the Chancellor loan, desperately searching for a way to mitigate the impending disaster. His investigation leads him down a dark, forgotten path, peeling back the layers of a carefully constructed corporate mythology. Jack seeks to understand the origins of the fatal loophole, tracing the financial transactions back to the era when their revered father, John Abbott, first extended the lifeline to Chancellor Industries. What begins as a quest for legal clarity slowly morphs into an excavation of buried family secrets. Jack navigates through decades-old correspondence, confidential ledgers, and encrypted files, each piece of evidence drawing him closer to a truth he is entirely unprepared to face. The shadows of the past begin to lengthen, threatening to eclipse the present and permanently alter the Abbott family's understanding of their own history. In the deepest recesses of the historical archives, a horrifying, dark secret regarding John Abbott's past is finally unearthed. The truth surrounding the Chancellor loan is not a tale of benevolent friendship, but a narrative tainted by a severe moral and financial transgression. Jack discovers that the revered patriarch, the man whose ethical standards have served as the guiding light for the Abbott empire, committed an act of profound deceit to secure his family's wealth. The secret is so devastating, so entirely contrary to the pristine legacy of John Abbott, that its revelation would instantly obliterate the family's reputation. The pristine image of the honorable patriarch shatters in Jack's mind, replaced by the chilling realization that their empire was built on a foundation of hidden sins. The emotional impact on Jack is catastrophic, forcing him to reconcile his deep love for his father with the undeniable evidence of his father's darkest moment. The weight of this monumental secret threatens to crush Jack's spirit as he grapples with the terrifying implications of its exposure. He understands with absolute certainty that if this dark truth were to be made public, the Abbott legacy would be reduced to ashes. The scandal would not only destroy their corporate standing, but would also invalidate every moral high ground the family has ever claimed. Jack is plunged into an agonizing ethical dilemma, torn between the pursuit of absolute truth and the desperate need to protect the memory of the man he idolized. He visualizes the media frenzy, the gleeful retaliation of their enemies, and the profound disillusionment of his siblings. The burden of this knowledge isolates Jack completely, forcing him to carry a toxic secret that is slowly poisoning his own conscience. He realizes that some truths are simply too destructive to see the light of day. Beyond the preservation of his father's legacy, Jack is acutely aware of the massive collateral damage this secret would inflict upon innocent lives, specifically Lily Winters and Kane Ashby. He knows that if the fraudulent nature of the historical loan is exposed, it would throw Chancellor Industries into absolute chaos, destroying the stability that Lily and Kane have fought so desperately to maintain. Jack recognizes that Lily and Kane are already suffering immensely under the pressure of Billy's manic attacks, and he refuses to be the instrument of their ultimate ruin. His protective instincts extend beyond his bloodline, encompassing those who would be unfairly victimized by the sins of the past. Jack's decision-making process is heavily influenced by his desire to shield Lily and Kane from further trauma, understanding that they are fighting a desperate battle to save their family's legacy. He resolves that the darkness of John Abbott's past must not be allowed to destroy the future of Chancellor Industries. Driven by this complex web of familial loyalty and protective duty, Jack makes the agonizing decision to actively bury the dark secret. He systematically erases the digital footprints, destroys the physical evidence, and locks the horrifying truth deep within the most secure vaults of his mind. The act of covering up his father's sins is a profound betrayal of Jack's own moral compass, a sacrifice of his integrity to preserve the illusion of Abbott honor. He rationalizes the deception as a necessary evil, a heavy cross he must bear to save his family and protect Lily and Kane from total devastation. Every step of the cover-up amplifies Jack's internal torment, leaving him haunted by the ghost of his father and the crushing weight of his own hypocrisy. He builds a fortress of lies around the Abbott legacy, desperately hoping that the walls will hold against the relentless siege of Billy's ambition. However, secrets of such magnitude possess a dangerous gravity, and Billy, fueled by his paranoid obsession, eventually stumbles upon the edges of Jack's elaborate cover-up. He detects the missing files, the altered records, and the subtle shifts in Jack's demeanor. Through a combination of relentless digging and manic intuition, Billy realizes that Jack has intentionally hidden a massive truth regarding the Chancellor loan. But Billy's fractured mind entirely misinterprets the motive behind the deception. He does not see a son protecting a father's legacy, nor does he see a man shielding innocent bystanders. Instead, Billy perceives the ultimate, unforgivable betrayal. He convinces himself that Jack has buried the truth solely to deny him his rightful inheritance, to keep Chancellor Industries out of his hands, and to protect Lily and Kane at his own brother's expense. This warped realization triggers a catastrophic psychological break within Billy. The feeling of being entirely cornered, marginalized, and betrayed by his own flesh and blood pushes him over the edge of sanity. He views Jack's actions as an act of profound malice, a declaration of war that severs the final threads of their fraternal bond. Billy feels completely isolated, convinced that the entire world, led by his own brother, is conspiring to destroy his destiny. The manic euphoria that previously fueled his ambition curdles into a toxic, suffocating darkness. He is no longer fighting for a corporate title, he is fighting for his very survival against a family he now views as his greatest enemy. The emotional agony of this perceived betrayal strips away Billy's remaining moral restraints, leaving behind a hollow vessel filled only with a terrifying, unquenchable thirst for vengeance. Pushed beyond all psychological limits, Billy's mind descends into an abyss of dark, terrifying ideation. The thought of merely defeating Jack in a boardroom is no longer sufficient to quench his raging fury. He begins to harbor chilling, murderous thoughts, visualizing violent retribution against the brother who he believes has stolen his birthright. The transformation is absolute and horrifying. The charming, albeit reckless, younger Abbott brother is entirely consumed by a psychopathic desire to inflict ultimate pain. Billy's internal monologue becomes a symphony of destruction, mapping out scenarios where Jack, Lily, and Kane pay the ultimate price for their perceived treachery. He moves through the world with a dangerous, quiet intensity, a predator silently stalking his own family. The corporate dispute has mutated into a lethal vendetta, and Billy is fully prepared to cross the ultimate moral boundary to achieve his twisted sense of justice. As the shadows lengthen over Genoa City, the Abbott family stands entirely unaware on the precipice of a violent implosion. Jack continues to carry the crushing weight of his father's dark secret, believing his deception has secured a fragile peace, completely ignorant of the monster he has inadvertently unleashed in his younger brother. Billy, consumed by his murderous ideation, operates in the dark, meticulously sharpening his blades for a retaliation that will shatter the family forever. The tension is a physical weight, a suffocating blanket of impending doom that promises to drown them all in a sea of blood and betrayal. The legacy of John Abbott, built on hidden sins and sustained by desperate lies, is about to face its ultimate, terrifying reckoning. When the dam of Billy's sanity finally breaks, the resulting flood of violence will leave no one unscathed, leaving the chilling question echoing in the silent halls of the Abbott mansion. Who will survive the deadly wrath of a brother pushed too far?